Illinois corn was a founding pillar, cornerstone of the U.S. Meat Export Federation since its inception. We started in 1976 as a nonprofit organization, and Illinois corn has had leadership throughout that time, throughout that period.
Hello, I'm Lindsay Croke. I'm your host today for Illinois Corn TV, and we are joined by John Hinners, who works for the U.S. Meat Export Federation, also called USMEF for short. John, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Lindsay. Great to be with you today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about this amazing partnership between corn and livestock. You're really focused on export markets. Can you talk to us a little bit about what USMEF does and why that matters for corn farmers?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Lindsay. First of all, thanks for the great introduction. When you look at the U.S. Meat Export Federation, the number one thing we do is purely international. It's exports of beef, pork, and lamb. So any one of those three species is considered red meat. So ultimately, at the end of the day, that's our sole mission, is to put U.S. meat on the world's table. So when you look at Illinois corn, you might say, well, how is the corn relationship with meat? How does that look? How does that work? And I will tell you that Illinois corn was a founding pillar, cornerstone of the U.S. Meat Export Federation since its inception. We started in 1976 as a nonprofit organization, and Illinois corn has had leadership throughout that time, throughout that period, really kind of guiding U.S. Meat Export Federation, helping us grow over the nearly 50 years of existence, and really contributing through financial partnerships that we've had in different projects, different promotion activities. So it's really been a great partnership that we've had with the Corn Checkoff, with the leadership of Illinois corn, and ultimately at the end of the day, the success that we've had in growing red meat exports and sharing that with the world consumers.
And what does that mean for corn farmers? What's the impact directly for them when we are able to export more red meat?
Well, that's a great question. And when you think about the relationship to the farmers, I know we're in harvest mode right now. We've done a study, and it's a third-party study, and we've looked at that relationship as how is the corn utilization affected by red meat exports. So when you think about roughly 1 out of 3 hogs that we raise in the United States, destined for the international market, or 14% of the cattle that we raise destined for the international market, what is the impact on corn? And the impact on corn utilization to feed those animals specifically in 2024, the latest data that we have, is over 525 million bushels of corn utilized for those animals. And the financial impact is around 59 cents per bushel of corn impact in 2024. So, thus, that's a Dave Juday study I'm quoting. We always try to quantify what the investment could be, and from that standpoint, that's the return that we have. And when you think about it, I know a lot of corn farmers also rotate corn, soybeans. We utilize over 100 million bushels of soybeans for those hogs and soybean meals. So at the end of the day, we have an impact with the soybean industry as well, and it's been very, very positive. So
you are working on exporting cuts from these animals that we don't really utilize in the U.S., and you're adding value to each carcass. Can you talk a little bit about, pick a different sort of cut that we don't use here, and then What does that look like in the other country when you're trying to build a market for that?
Yeah, great question. And I'll kind of throw one out that's really unique and kind of would stick with your viewership. Let's take the U.S. beef liver. Okay. We've all had liver and onions. It's a variety meat is what we consider that. Some people's palate, it's a great protein, but let's face it, Lindsay, not every month are we sitting down having liver and onions.
Yeah, I have never
Uh,
had liver and onions, John.
well, you're missing out. I think it's really good. But here's an opportunity for a variety of meats such as liver to be exported internationally. And in Peru, we have sometimes a iron deficiency with the youth. So what we've created through corn checkoff dollars and through a red meat value study that we've done, how can we blend U.S. beef liver with another protein, just say another beef protein or pork, depending on the ration, in the international market to where you can have a liver burger or a liver meatball, and it's very palatable. We've done that and it's had great success. So we're utilizing this beef liver in a grind, in a mixture where we're using beef variety meats such as the liver and possibly beef round, or could be a pork product. And we're creating this liver burger or this protein ball filled with mega nutrients and provided to a society such as Peru that loves liver. So it's a win-win for everybody. And that continues to grow throughout not only Peru, but Central America, Africa. And it's a way that we're adding value to that liver that if we've kept that here in the United States, we'd have to either consume it or use it for other products such as pet food, or even worst case scenario, if you can't move it, it would maybe go into some other type of rendering. So anyway, it's a win for us from that standpoint. When you think about one other thing, Lindsay, exports, we're not selling all the ribeyes. I can guarantee you, your audience, we're not going to run out of ribeyes or filet mignon or delicious pork chops or lamb chops by exporting all that. We're not focused on that. We're focused on adding value to that entire carcass. So it might be the round on the beef animal. It might be the pork loin that we're really focused on internationally. So trying to add value by some of those underutilized cuts that we have domestically and finding homes for them internationally is where really the success of the U.S. Meat Export Federation comes into play, and the funding sources such as Illinois Corn Marketing Board, with the checkoff helps us deliver that product to markets that really desire that high quality corn-fed protein.
Can you tell us another success story, or maybe even zero in on a specific market that you think is really interesting?
Yeah, I will. I'll tell you a success story that it's a little passionate to me because I've been with this organization nearly 25 years, and my first international market that I visited was South Korea. So I've been able to witness firsthand the changes within that society. 50 million consumers in South Korea, and here's a society that go back 50 years ago was consuming less than a pound of meat per consumer each month. Just think of that, 12 pounds of meat in a given year, and 480 pounds of rice or cereal in that given year. Fast forward nearly 50 years, and you've seen a tremendous amount of growth in red meat exports and consumption within South Korea, to where they're enjoying well over 125 pounds of meat and fish together, and their cereal and rice intake has gone down from a 480 to probably less than 150 pounds. So meat consumption has taken over the rice consumption in that particular society. And, they love U.S. corn-fed beef. They love U.S. corn-fed pork. It's a win-win for just U.S. agriculture in general, and it's a win for the consumers, in South Korea. So I think from that standpoint, to me, that's a long-term success just for society and for U.S. agriculture.
Let's be corny. Are you ready to be corny with me, John?
Hey, Lindsay, I'm going to give it a shot.
All
So
right.
I don't know how this is going to end up, but let's go.
Why did the steak join USMEF?
Number one, why did the steak join USMEF? Boy, that's a great question. I don't have an answer for that.
Well, let me
So
give you
have
our
to share
answer.
that. Okay.
Our answer. It wanted a well-done career overseas.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That is awesome. That is so
So,
good. So,
John, to wrap up really quick, is there anything that you think we haven't talked about that our corn farmers just have to know?
well, I think the one thing that, you know, I think about every day is, that next generation of corn farmers. How are we going to keep them profitable? How are we going to keep them in the communities, not only in Illinois, but throughout the United States? And the one way that we're going to do that is to continue to invest in unique programs, unique marketing opportunities, such as U.S. Meat Export Federation, such as U.S. Grains Council, such as your National Corn Growers and the Illinois Corn Growers Association. Because if you're not involved, if you're not always pushing forward with new technologies and new marketing ideas, then we stay stagnant and we're not as competitive. So my point is, we need everything, and let's continue to do the right things for the right reasons. And my point is, if you're not involved with your organization, such as Illinois Corn Growers Association, look at opportunities to get involved, because it's a way that you can continue to learn and not only give back, but also receive from others the knowledge that you share by being involved. So that would be my kind of point to think about going forward. And I always like to think about that next generation. How do we keep them profitable on the land and involved with our local communities?
Thanks for that, John. I feel like you took the words right out of our mouth. Appreciate that you are as passionate about our Illinois corn farmers as we are. So really grateful to have you for a partner. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thanks for the opportunity.